Tank Masteries. Tank. So the first thing I would ask is what is more important to you as a tank? Is it important to be tanky? Yes, then probably go with some of these. Is it important to deal damage below a certain amount of health? That's free damage, so yes. Like, this is gonna be interesting. Let's see what we can come up with here. 6% bonus armor and magic resist. 6%. Let's say you had 300 bonus armor. It's only 18 armor, so I'm gonna say that's a not very good mastery. I'll take the health regen probably 100% of the time if I'm going with this tree. Tough skin, that's a clear choice. Total health as opposed to shields and healing. This is champion specific, but veteran scars are fine. You can split the points if you want to. 4% total health will be tankier in a full build, but it may not have as much utility. So Perseverance specifically is meant for tanks. If you're playing like Dr. Mundo, you're going to want that mastery. Now, if you're playing champions that want to deal a little bit more damage and are just happen to be tanky, or maybe they build all tank items but they want damage masteries, you're going to have situations like that as well. So this is just purely from a tank situation. 15% tenacity and slow resist. I think Legendary Guardian is the better mastery. If I want tenacity, then I'd get it on my boots, but yeah, I think actually this mastery is pretty dope. That is a lot of tenacity. Because theoretically, let's say you're surrounded by what, 5 enemy champions? That's 15 armor and magic resist, but that's like 15% reduction on the stun that's keeping you next to all those 5 people. So let's say if you're trying to get away, then swiftness would be a better mastery. But if you just want to go in and tank a lot of damage, and you're not ever intending on getting out, then Legendary Guardian is the superior mastery. So thematically, we'll say that this is purely tank mastery. So we'll go with that. Strength of the Ages is basically like a support mastery. If you're going to tank support, then go with that. If not, then don't. Every 4 seconds in combat, your next attack against an enemy champion steals life equal to 3% of your max health. That's pretty ridiculous. 4% damage reduction. While near an ally, this bonus is doubled. Okay, I think Bond of Stone wins out here because most combat tanks would go with other masteries. So this is one of those things that will have its niche use cases, but overall will be pretty useless for most people. So how many points do we got left? We got 7. That's honestly how I would play my tanks right now. If you didn't want to go with points in this tree, I'll give you an idea what that would look like. Probably take movement speed out of combat on a tank. It's pretty useful. And Secret Stash is the clear choice. So Merciless, I think that's good on all classes. So yeah, maybe this is how I would play my tanks right now. And again, this is like support mastery. So I don't actually think Strength of the Ages is that good. So Bond of Stone and Bandit, if this is like a support tank. If you're going a damage tank, let's see how can we do this. You want the increased spell damage, right? Because you're a damage tank. You want the extra movement speed, Secret Stash, Merciless. Let's say you're solo laning, so you don't want Bandit, but you want Dangerous Game. And you want that penetration. So on a damage tank, I actually think that Thunderlord's Decree is probably the choice. And you grab the health regen over here, because why not? Take Tough Skin and Feast or Double-Edged Sword. So Double-Edged Sword is probably the better one. So if you're playing a tank that does damage in lane, and for some reason you don't want utility, mana regeneration, or whatever else you can get, this is just probably how I would play it anyway, because I want the most damage out of my masteries. So Double-Edged Sword combined with Sorcery combined with Merciless and Precision, those things all scale each other up. And Thunderlord's Decree is going to do damage as well, so trying to think if there's anything else for tanks. Like if you're going an AP tank, that would be like another thing to cover. Still spell damage. Let's say for this page that you just went Feast, even though, you know, we're pretty much calling this a usage case basis. You don't need the lifesteal and spell vamp. But let's say you want Bounty Hunter because you eventually want to get to carry status as an AP tank. And you guys don't have all that much CC, so Oppressor doesn't make any sense to you. Then like when you get to the Keystone Masteries, your Deathfire Touch isn't better than Fervor of Battle for a tank, actually. So I probably would go with Fervor of Battle, even though it seems bad, just because Deathfire Touch, that's more for like your rotation based champions. Like if you're playing an AP tank, you probably don't have a whole lot of cooldown reduction in your build. If you do though, then Deathfire Touch is a good choice. So yeah, actually I probably would go with that. Deathfire Touch. Because Fervor of Battle, that requires you to be in range, and if you're not building attack speed, then that's not as valuable. So Deathfire Touch, yeah, that's probably better for the AP tanks. And then you pick your next masteries based off what you're going to be doing, really. But we really want Merciless, so we're gonna commit to this tree as opposed to potentially getting more health or more regeneration. So that's another option. And of course, let me know if you have anything else you want me to cover in the comments. I probably won't be getting to them today since I've posted a number of videos, but thank you for watching, and as always, remember to hit the subscribe and like button.